But we begin with the latest coronavirus numbers here in Georgia. The Department of Public Health just updating them moments ago. There are now 329 people who have died, 100 more since noon yesterday. There are 8,818 confirmed infections and over 1,000 people hospitalized, 1,774 to be exact. Health experts have repeatedly told us how the virus is especially tough on the elderly and those with chronic health conditions. But a mother tells us her 31-year-old son, who was a fitness fanatic, died after getting sick, suffering 2 heart attacks. Christy Diaz talked to our Dr. Reddy about how the virus may affect your heart.
Bryce was perfectly healthy until he started feeling sick in mid-March. 8 hours later, he was in a medically induced coma in the hospital. This is his mom, Brenda.
If this could happen to a big, strong hamburger like Bryce, it can happen to anyone.
His mom says Bryce poured his soul into working out and staying healthy, but somehow this virus caught hold of him. Doctors say it ravaged his heart, causing 2 heart attacks. He didn't survive the second one.
I was unable to see him until he had passed away.
His death is already puzzling, but now it's bringing up questions about what else the virus affects, like the heart.
We've gotten that question from viewers too, so we took it directly to our medical contributor, Dr. Sujatha Reddy.
Dr. Reddy, we already know this virus affects the lungs, but now does this also affect the heart?
So it's been an interesting question, and there are some new studies that are showing the COVID-19 virus may affect the lungs, creating this bad pneumonia, but it may also be affecting heart muscle and the specific tissue of the heart muscle. The heart and the lungs are intimately connected. When something affects the lungs, it puts more strain on the heart and vice versa.
I think people are shocked by this because this guy was so healthy, so young, had no underlying heart conditions. What advice could you give to someone who is now looking at this person saying, I'm young, I'm healthy too, what if this happens to me?
I think that's the take-home message that his family wants to give to the rest of us, is that while we know the vast majority of people that are going to die from this virus are going to be older, are going to have a pre-existing health condition, there are going to be a few people who are going to be healthy and young and are going to be taken by COVID-19. The major complications of COVID-19 seem to occur very rapidly. You'll have fever, cough, and then if you start getting any problems with difficulty breathing, the shortness of breath, the pain when you breathe in, the feeling that you can't get enough air, that's the time to go to the hospital, call 911.
And Dr. Reddy says another theory is that the virus triggers blood clots, which can cause a heart attack. All right, the nation's largest grocery chain rolling out new safety measures today. Kroger says it will limit the number of shoppers inside its stores to further encourage social distancing. Nick Sturdivant has more on its efforts.
I spoke with a Kroger official today, and he told me this is all in the effort to help people better practice social distancing. As you know, these stores can get pretty packed. Starting today, stores will limit the number of customers to 50% of building code capacity. That amounts to about 1 person per 120 square feet. Kroger says individual stores will decide the number of customers depending on its size. Also, the company is encouraging employees to wear face masks. The company is in the process of getting safety masks for them. Employees can wear homemade cloth masks per the CDC and White House. Stores have also installed plexiglass barriers at the register to stop the spread of germs.
We definitely have been in tune with our customers, as well as direction that we're getting from CDC and really the experts. And one of the things I know that our associates were saying is that they will feel a lot more comfortable with that. We are piloting one-way aisles in a few divisions.
And Kroger continues to hire, especially for its free pickup service, which is in huge demand. I'm also told that they even started doing virtual job fairs.
A new task force launched to protect you from fraud amid this pandemic. It is a joint effort between state and federal prosecutors. They're asking if you see any kind of fraud, including charity, phishing, or investment scams, to call or email the National Center for Disaster Fraud. That number and address is on your screen, 866-720-5721. The email is disaster@leo.gov. to report price gouging. Again, this has remained throughout the pandemic. Contact the Consumer Protection Division of the State Attorney General's office. Preparing for the primaries with a different kind of task force, this one aimed at absentee ballots. Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger bracing for a big increase in absentee ballots because of the coronavirus and creating a task force to prevent voter fraud during the election. He says mismatched signatures and those who register from a non-residential address will be investigated. The presidential and general primary in Georgia are both set for May 19th. If your car insurance is with Allstate, you may be seeing a refund soon. The company says it will return $600 million in auto insurance premiums to customers under state home orders. Many Americans are driving less to help flatten the curve. Less driving equals fewer crashes. Allstate says data shows driving mileage down 35 to 50%. Most customers will receive a refund of 15% of their monthly premium in April and May. Well, every dollar counts when it comes to schools working to feed their students and making distance learning a success. Atlanta Public Schools, its foundation, receiving a $280,000 grant to help distribute school meals. Some of those funds will also purchase devices and internet packages for students. Atlanta Partners for Education, that's the name of the foundation, is one of more than 24 groups selected to receive grants from the Greater Atlanta COVID-19 Response and Recovery Fund. We've got our Verify team working nonstop to answer the questions you have about coronavirus. This viewer's question, for instance, about the stimulus checks and whether they're coming out of your taxes next year. Our Jason Puckett has the answer.
Viewer Lindy Horowitz sent us this question. Quote, is the stimulus check in advance for taxes 2020? We've also received a number of emails wondering if you have to pay taxes on the stimulus checks. So that's what we're verifying. Are the stimulus checks in advance of credit for 2020 taxes? And do you have to pay taxes on them? Our sources are the CARES Act itself and the IRS and U.S. Department of Treasury, along with documentation from Senator Dianne Feinstein. So quick recap. The CARES Act, which passed in late March, includes stimulus money for multiple businesses and a large chunk to help American taxpayers. The bill uses your 2018 or 2019 tax returns to determine if you qualify for a payment based on your income. It basically boils down to this. Adults who filed taxes get $1,200 each, and their qualifying children get $500. If your adjusted gross income is over $75,000 individually, or $150,000 for joint filings, the amount of that credit decreases up until $99,000 for an individual and $198,000 for a joint filing. Past that, no checks. Okay, so those are the numbers. The big question, though, are we going to have to pay that back? No. The Act itself calls these a, quote, advance refund. That's a tax credit they're paying you now. This credit will come into play when you file your taxes in 2020. If you're eligible for a refund based on your tax return, the stimulus credit you received would be deducted from that amount. If your refund is less than the credit or you owe money, you won't be required to pay that back. So yes, we can verify the checks are an advance credit on our 2020 taxes. The government is essentially giving us refunds for the taxes we will pay in 2020. And since it's money from our taxes, you don't have to pay it back. The government's providing an early refund here. Senator Feinstein's office also confirmed that since it's a tax credit, we don't pay additional taxes on the money. If you've got more questions like this, send us an email.
An advance credit on your 2020 taxes. Remember that. And we know you have plenty more questions on the stimulus bill, to be exact, including how does the way you file your family's taxes affect how you'll be getting the check? We're taking your questions straight to the expert coming up live. And text your financial questions to the number on your screen. That's 404-885-7600. And remember, please include your name. As the demand for masks continues amid the coronavirus outbreak, one elementary school student is doing her part to help. Liza Lucas spoke with the young seamstress.
Behind the hum of this sewing machine is a young girl motivated to make a difference.
Hi, my name is Holly Morgan and I'm 11 years old.
Holly using her time at home these days, putting her sewing skills to work, making masks for healthcare workers in need.
With the help of my mom for cutting fabric.
It's not her first mission with the sewing machine. For 2 years, she's been learning through nonprofit Stitch It To 'Em.
I am very proud of her, and it makes me the feeling that they are paying attention.
Her teacher proud. Holly's project now a personal one.
It's a big impact on the society, and it's also a big impact off my mom because She's a healthcare worker.
Her family also helping with the goal of getting Holly's masks to local hospitals.
Really want to do more than this amount, but at least 250.
And the young seamstress even testing her teaching skills.
You have 2 pieces of fabric. 1, 2.
With the aim of showing other kids how to pitch in.
It does not matter your age or your size.
A young girl's reminder that helping out just takes heart.
Holly, you are making an incredible difference. Really love her story. 11 years old. We love sharing good news here, so please send us your community shout outs, your messages of love using the hashtag #SendTheLoveATL. We'll be right back with financial expert Andrew Poulos answering your questions.